We've all been told a lie. Babe Ruth wasn't the greatest baseball player of all time. He was just the first superstar.
Babe Ruth became a rich man when the Yankees signed him into pinstripes. That was back in 1920.
But what if I told you the real GOAT wasn't a home run king, but a hit king? A guy who played with broken bones, who outlasted every player in history, who defined hustle. Ladies and gentlemen, Pete Rose was better than Babe Ruth.
I just simply, the best way to say it is I screwed up.
Were you worried though when you were betting on baseball that you'd get caught?
No, I didn't even think about it.
And today, we're dismantling the myths, crunching the numbers, and exposing the truth MLB doesn't want you to see. Ruth's league was a joke. Let's start with the elephant in the room. Babe Ruth played in a totally different sport, no integration. Ruth never faced Satchel Paige, Bob Gibson, or Juan Marichal. He played against doctors and plumbers in the off-season, no night games. Ruth played in daylight with no cross-country flights or 162-game grind. No 100-mile-per-hour fastballs. The fastest pitcher Ruth faced threw 86 miles per hour. Pete Rose, he hit against Nolan Ryan's 100.9 miles per hour heater and still batted .300 against him. This isn't just different eras. This is different universes. Pete Rose was the ultimate weapon. Babe Ruth was a slugger. Pete Rose was a Swiss Army knife, played 5 positions at an all-star level. Led the league in hits at 7 times. Ruth, 0. At age 40, Rose was still diving into first base. Meanwhile, Ruth was out of shape by 30. This wasn't just skill, this was obsession. Let's go nuclear. The numbers don't lie. Category: Pete Rose, Babe Ruth. It's my audio, count 4,256, 2,873, games played, 3,562, 2,503, 200 hit seasons, 10, 0, batting titles, 3, 1. Ruth had power, Rose had everything else.
The only bad press I got, or the only bad fan mail I got was from American League fans. And players today have to understand that, because the only time you're going to get hurt playing an all-star game today is if you play not to get hurt. That's when you're going to get hurt. But we don't do anything to help pitching today. Nothing. We don't do anything to help pitchers. Everything is for the hitter, because baseball determined that the way to get the people back was the long ball.
The untold story, Rose's war, mentality. Pete Rose played baseball like it was D-Day. Played through broken ribs, concussions, and torn ligaments. Once bowed over an umpire for missing a call, Ruth would have just laughed. Teammates said he hated losing more than he loved winning. Babe Ruth was a legend. Pete Rose was a soldier. The greatest what if in sports history. Here's the million-dollar question. Could Babe Ruth survive today? Could he hit a splitter, a slider, a 100-mile-per-hour, closer? Could he handle night games, social media, and 24/7 scrutiny? Pete Rose didn't just survive the modern era, he owned it.
It was probably my fault, the way I played. But I got feelings. If the band's ever lifted, I'll be the happiest guy in the world. But until then, you just have to try to do what you can do.
Why the Hall of Fame is a hypocrite. Let's talk about the real scandal. Babe Ruth was a drunk who partied during Prohibition. Pete Rose gambled but never threw a game. Yet Ruth's in Cooperstown and Rose isn't. That's not justice, that's PR. The MLB forgave steroids, but they'll never forgive hustle. Ruth's defense was a liability. Rose was a glove wizard. Babe Ruth was a terrible fielder, literally. Ruth made 105 errors as an outfielder, most ever by a left fielder or right fielder. Pete Rose, Gold Glove winner, 1969-1970, who played elite defense at 5 positions. Ruth was so bad, The Yankees hit him in right field to minimize damage. Rose, managers moved him anywhere to win. Ruth hurt his team when he wasn't hitting. Rose saved games with his glove. Rose owned the biggest stage. Ruth faded in October. Clutch matters. And here's the ugly truth. Babe Ruth shrunk when it mattered most. Ruth's World Series batting average, .326, great, but Rose's, .321 while playing elite defense. Ruth struck out 5 times more often in the postseason than Rose. Rose's 1980 NLCS MVP performance, .400 plus BA, is still the grittiest playoff run ever. Ruth had moments. Rose had legendary moments. Rose's sterling reputation versus Ruth's dirty secrets. MLB whitewashed Ruth's flaws, but let's expose them. Ruth drank during games. Teammates confirmed it. He partied all night, then showed up hungover. Rose, the man ran to first on walks. Even his batting practice was legendary. Ruth was a celebrity. Rose was a professional. Rose's records are more unbreakable. 4,256 hits isn't just a record, it's a mathematical impossibility today. Ichiro, the modern hit king, was 900 hits short. Ruth's 714 home runs. Bonds, Aaron, and Pujols all passed him. Rose also holds the unbreakable records for most games played, 3,562. Most at-bats, 14,053. Most singles, 3,215. You can't moneyball your way to 4,256 hits. This record dies with Pete Rose. Rose beat Ruth's own team, the 1975 World Series proof. Here's the irony. Pete Rose out Babe Ruth, the Babe's own franchise. In the 1975 World Series versus Ruth's Yankees? Oh wait, the Reds swept them in '76 too. Rose's Reds dynasty, 2 rings, 4 pennants, matched Ruth's Yankees dominance in a much harder era. Ruth never faced a team as stacked as the '76 Big Red Machine. Rose led one. Ruth built a legacy. Rose buried legacies. Rose's work ethic, Burris. Ruth's laziness. Babe, Ruth's training regimen, hot dogs and beer. Yankees trainers said Ruth rarely practiced. Rose, teammates caught him taking 500 swings after night games. Even at 45, Rose was outworking rookies in Phillies camp. Ruth had talent. Rose had work ethic. And that's why he lasted 24 years. Rose was the greater leader. Ruth was a diva. Sparky Anderson called Rose the best leader I ever saw. Mike Schmidt, he taught us how to win. Ruth, teammates said he bullied rookies and ignored strategy. Ruth inspired fans. Rose inspired champions. The verdict is clear. Babe Ruth was a cultural icon. Pete Rose was baseball incarnate. Ruth had the swing. Rose had the soul. So the next time someone says, Ruth is the GOAT, ask them, could he hit .303 at age 45? Could he play 162 games with broken ribs? Could he outwork every player in history? The answer, because there's only one Charlie Hustle. Drop your take in the comments. And smash like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear the truth. Thanks for watching, and remember, legends are made. Kings are earned.